Hey, it's Alex, and in today's barber haircut tutorial, I'm going to show you how we do a high fade with a half on this client, and we're starting right now. So to start this haircut off, I'm going to take my gamma clippers and I'm going to open the lever all the way. This is what I call a half, and because I've never cut this client's hair before, I'm going to do what's called a test patch. So basically, I'm just going to cut a small area and show him and make sure that that's the length that he wants before I proceed with the rest of the haircut. This basically prevents me from having to do two haircuts on the same person because I want to make sure that that's the right length before I move any further. So one thing I like to do to make sure that the fade is even on both sides is use my mirror and turn the client to the side when I'm working on the other side, so that way I can see both sides at the same time and make sure that the guide is even on both sides. That way we don't have a high fade on one side and a low fade on the other side. It makes a more balanced haircut that way. Once I have that first guideline established, I'm going to create my next guideline with the number 1 guard and the clipper lever all the way open, going up about ½ an inch all the way around the head. So now I'm going to start working on erasing that first guideline we created by closing the lever all the way and staying just underneath that previous guide that we just created. And then to fully erase that line, I'm going to take my half guard with the lever about halfway open and just knock out any line that remains from that first guideline we created. Using the number 2 guard, I'm going to go up about ½ an inch and start to create our next guideline. Using the 1.5 guard, I'm going to start fading down and start working on erasing that line that we created with the number 1 guard. There's almost always a line left over after that last step, so I usually put the number 1 guard back on with the lever open, and I just use the corners to help erase that final line that's left over. Here's one of my favorite techniques for blending short hair into long hair. It's called clipper over comb. Basically, you take a big comb, something that's wider than the clipper blade, rest it on the client's head, tilt the comb out towards you at about a 45-degree angle, and then just cut anything that hangs over. It's a lot faster and safer than using clipper guards. Using clipper over comb can make the hair look choppy, just trying to blend with just clipper over comb alone. So I usually like to follow it back up with guards. In this case is a number 3. And I go back over the area that I trimmed with the clipper over comb because it makes the blend look a lot smoother. Now I'm going to do all the steps that I already did just in reverse order. And this is going to help smooth out the blend. And it's also going to help catch any hairs that I might have missed on the first pass. To taper the client's neckline, the first thing I'm going to do is start with the clipper lever closed, which is about a 0, and create my first guideline. And then I'm just going to open the lever up 1 notch, going up about ½ an inch each time until it blends in with the sides. Now it's time to line him up, so using my Fabulous trimmers, just starting at the back of his hairline. It's going to be hard to kind of see his line because of the color hair that he has and the hair being so short, but we're going to catch anything that might be sticking out so his haircut looks nice and neat. So now that the sides are almost done, we're going to move on to the top. Start by wetting it down with some water and comb it out so we can start to get an idea of how much length the client wants to take off. For this step, I almost always put the clients facing the mirror so I can show them how much I take off before I do it. Once Once the top is cut, we're gonna have to reblend the sides into the top just because the length on the top changed. So now there's almost always gonna be a ridge left over. This is why some barbers prefer to cut the top first before they cut the sides, because then you may not have to do this step. This is where the haircut got a little interesting because the client told me in the consultation that he hated that part of his hairline, the left corner, and he wanted me to go shorter there. So I went a little bit shorter, but he still ended up not liking it. So what I suggested was we just part it over and then just shave that part off, and we'll see if he liked it. Sometimes we have to come up with custom solutions for our clients like this on the fly because everybody's hair is a little bit different. So this is what it looks like with that left side shaved down. I used the number 3 and he seemed to really like it. It's also going to be less maintenance for him. So now that the haircut's almost done, one of the last steps is to do the hot towel neck shave, starting with the hot towel to warm everything up, soften the hair, and then using the warm lather from the lather machine as our shaving cream. Using the tactical texture from Gibbs, we're gonna style his hair for him. This product has a medium hold with a matte finish, and then it has fibers in it, which help add a little bit of hold and also add some texture to the hair. Before I take the cape off, I usually like to hand clients the mirror and spin them around so they can see the haircut from all angles, just to make sure that they're happy with it. So this was the look before we did the haircut. This is the final look after. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.